What's going on, guys? Welcome back here to another day at Just Because Racing. We are currently on our way to go pick up these heads for the 6.0, and when I say we, I mean myself and my beautiful lady Macy.
Hi.
We are currently heading towards Illinois right now to go pick up these heads. We'll go over what heads they are once we pick them up, but with that being said, guys, let's hit the road. Alrighty guys, what's going on? So we're up here in Illinois right now. We just got done picking up the heads and now we're heading back home. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna go over the heads and kind of everything as far as like the reasoning on why we chose those heads. Here they are right here, just sitting there, and we're heading back, guys. So we'll catch you guys in a minute. Alrighty guys, so since this is kind of a shorter video, I wanted to tie in real quick before I explain the heads that we picked up and everything like that, and why we picked those up. I want to explain to you guys. So obviously, if you've seen the last few videos, we took the old internals of the 6.0 out. Beforehand, we noticed that there was a spun bearing, spun rod bearing. At that point, I was already contemplating doing different internals because the LQ4 has a little bit lower compression ratio than later gen 6.0s. So we were already contemplating doing different internals so we can reach that 450 mark NA. So we're contemplating that. Once I figured out what was going on with this block, I can already piece together exactly how it happened. My guess is that the person either didn't do oil changes or seldomly did them, and then from that point they probably started losing oil pressure. And the reason I say that is because, let's see if I grab it here real quick for you. It's a little dark in this corner. Oh, here it is. So we took this out, and as you saw probably in one of the last videos, this is the oil pump that came out of the truck. It's pretty much brand new. Reason I say that is because if you look at, like, I mean, just even the valley here, it's just way shinier, way cleaner than pretty much any other part on this engine. It's gonna be real tough to see if you even can, but in there on the actual oil pump gear, there's a lot of like scoring. So my guess is he started losing oil pressure, so decided he was gonna do an oil pump. At that point, I think the rod bearing was already too far gone, so he probably did the oil pump. Timing chain was brand new, and so was the cam gear, which I have that right here. I'll bring that out in a little bit better light to show you guys. So like the timing chain and cam gear were also brand new. So I think the guy or girl, whoever owned it, realized that. Oh, well, the timing chain was new. All right, sorry. So I think the previous owner realized that, did all those things, and then started having a rod knock very shortly after. And then at that point, this thing went to the junkyard, which, you know, a normal person would agree that that's where it belonged, in the junkyard, but I saw something else. So obviously those internals are scrap, so we ended up picking up something different. So we got our new crank here, and this is going to be pretty near impossible to see in the darkness here. Let me see. There we go. So we got our new crank right there, and I say new, it's new to us. Also came off of a used engine. without a spun bearing. And we also picked up, sorry, got oil on the thing, let me clean it off. We also picked up new pistons and rods. So, for anyone who doesn't know, these are flat tops. These flat tops are pretty widely used in the LS world, multiple different engines. But these specifically came off of an LQ9. LQ9 is initially what we were looking for block-wise, because they have beefier rods, Gen 4 rods. And I'm just gonna pull up an old rod here so you guys can see the difference and why we went with what we went with. So if you see here, I'm putting in the light a little bit better. So on the right is our Gen 4 rod, and on the left is the old Gen 3 rod. So just off rip, you can see the rods are beefier. Then we move to the actual piston itself. So the old LQ4 piston is a dish piston, and then the new ones, like I said, are the flat top. That's the easiest way to tell what internals you got or you're looking to buy. Make sure that they're the right ones. Another way to tell is on the LQ9, these are free-floating wrist pins versus these are just press fit wrist pins. So these are inferior overall design to the LQ9s. So with that and these heads, like I said, we're looking at pretty close to 11-to-1. I'm thinking maybe a little bit over, but I'd rather shoot lower just in case it isn't. But just based on the calculations I've done and stuff, we should be at like 11 or 11.1-to-1. So obviously it's 93 octane only, because once you get into those high compression ratios, you want to make sure that you're using high octane fuel. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna start tearing into the head, or excuse me, not tearing in. We're gonna go over the heads, which one we picked up, and get that going now and explain that to you guys now. Alrighty, so like I said, we're going with the 243 heads. We're gonna update this in a bit too, because we've made some changes here. But with that being said, bam, here they are. So I just brought one down just to kind of show you kind of why and everything like that. So obviously these are the aluminum heads. I believe these were off of these specifically were off of a truck, but these also were the heads that went on LS6, if I'm not mistaken. We got our code right there. These are cathedral port heads. Reason being for that is that we are going to be running a Trailblazer SS manifold, intake manifold. At least that's the plan so far. Flip these over here. It's a little dirty. I'm gonna have them cleaned up and stuff, but yeah, guys. So the reason we went with these is that these have 64 point, I believe it was 64.4 combustion chamber, CC combustion chamber. So it's a tighter combustion chamber. So that right there, paired with the internals that we've got now that are in that box, we're looking at being close to 11-to-1 compression. We're doing this NA, this NA build, I'm trying to shoot, like I said, 450, 500 horsepower is the goal, roughly. So that's why we went with these. Really good flowing heads, and another huge thing about them is that they have a 2-inch intake valve. So pretty much a lot of these aluminum heads have a 1.55-inch exhaust valve, but these have the 2-inch intake valve, which obviously just accounts for better airflow, air coming in and stuff like that. So that's why we went with these heads. And they're obviously a little dirty. I'm pretty sure these were also junkyard heads. I got a pretty good deal on these, so I definitely couldn't pass them up, especially considering that these were the heads that I wanted. and they were the only ones I could find on like a local marketplace to buy them, because once you start shipping things that big and that weigh that much, starts getting really expensive and not really worth it. Probably not gonna be able to see very well. Let me see if I get my flashlight on here so you can. So this is the other head. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this would be the passenger side. Overall, everything's pretty clean. Valves, like I said, a little dirty, but not too worried about that. It's all going to the machine shop. We did just order some parts. We did that today to try to get everything ready to go to the shop. So if you guys haven't seen it or missed the last video, I got my 6.0 block, and that is ready to go to the shop here. You'll see in previous videos, I'll have it linked here. We had that already torn down, ready to go. It's 100% ready to go to the shop. We've just been waiting on A, picking up the heads, and B, ordering all the parts that I needed to be able to send it to the shop, because there's a lot of things that I'm just gonna have them do while it's there. And once those parts get in, I'll explain those in a little bit more detail to you guys. So with that being said, guys, it's a little bit of a shorter video, but again, it was just a quick trip that we made. My girl and I, we went to, I believe it was in Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, to pick up these heads. So yeah, guys, just stay tuned. Coming here soon. We're gonna be taking this thing to the shop. We're gonna get this thing ready to be reassembled. So you don't wanna miss that. And if you guys want to continue to see this build, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, smash that subscribe button. And remember, if anyone ever asks you why you do what you do, you tell them it's just because. And I'll catch y'all next time.